Well, there we go. We are live. This is live. Not really. And welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. This is our first try at video, which I am not ready for a close-up. But I mean, I did get a blackhead out. I mean, because it was just. It is July 22nd, 2025, and this is episode 127. It's a Stay Off My Lawn 127. It's about as old as my dog. But I've only had him 5 years. So anyway, to start off with, I really hate to do this personal stuff, but I do have a personal story. About a week ago, I saw this news story. It might not even been quite a week ago, on ABC National News, and it caught my attention, not because of the content, which was interesting enough, but because the name sounded familiar. This is what I saw.
Tonight, a former pro baseball player, husband and father, has died while trying to save another family from rip currents in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. Chase Childers, also a former Georgia police officer, was swept away in front of his own wife and 3 children. Authorities say he did that while saving that other family of 5, and they are calling him a hero tonight.
Yeah, I've been to Pawleys Island. That kind of brought my attention, but Chase Childers, it's like, man, why does that sound so familiar? I've got a guy that I served with at First Baptist Church in Cartersville, Georgia. He was the worship leader, and I was the sound guy. So we got to be, how that kind of relationship, you end up being kind of close. But anyway, I remember he had 2 kids. One was Chance and one was Chase, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's just no way. So I looked up my buddy my buddy Chaz, and just to find out, I lost track of him probably 15 years ago now. But I found out he died of a stroke back in December. And I'm like, going, you got to be kidding me. So anyway, I was going to reach out to him, and I really only met his wife Nancy a couple of times. But if you're praying, people keep that family in your prayers. Nancy has lost her husband 7 months ago, and now our son, who is no more than in his 30s. I mean, it's terrible stuff.
Yeah, all these floods are, they're just sad. People don't understand what goes on when a big wall of water comes and just, and everything's just, what was there isn't anymore, including people.
I think this was a rip current type situation, similar to what happened with Malcolm Jamal Warner. I believe that was a rip current too. It's like, it can be really, really strong. I mean, I'm a good swimmer, and I normally don't worry about rip currents, but I think maybe they're getting worse. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with all this people getting pulled out into the water. It's terrible. But anyway, I thought that was interesting since that was on national news, and it was somebody that I knew. I'd met Chance and Chase a couple of times, but they were little. They were in high school or middle school. Heck, I don't know. It's been a long, long time. So anyway, we do have a couple of quick news stories to get to before we get to the meat of the show, the sirloin tip. If you're keeping score, they are considering the idea of giving Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine, I don't know.
I think the proper term, and I think because I don't follow it much. Ghislaine Maxwell. There's those who want to make it Ghislaine, and that's not proper either. It's like, no, that's not how you say that. But I think it's just Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah,
so
I think so. There's been talk with, I think it was her lawyer or Epstein's old lawyer. Now it just jumped out of my head. Anyway, he's talking about maybe giving her full immunity for her testimony, because she knows where all the bodies are buried. She knows all the names. I mean, if the DOJ cannot unredact some of this stuff, she could come out there and do it. Now, I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a good idea? Or
it's one of those where on this hand, but on this hand, but this hand, but this one. I'm gonna kind of split the difference a bit, and maybe say, okay, you can get out in 5 with, what does she serve now? Almost 2 years.
Something like that. She's been in jail for a little while.
So say 5 years with time already served. So it would be 2, and in another 3 you'll be out, as opposed to another 20. or a 17, whatever it is.
I would imagine
So
for her to agree to it, she'd probably want to get released right away, I would think.
yeah, I'm guessing that she wouldn't, but I'm kind of the mind where I want to know what's going on. Yes, she recruited these kids and girls and whatever, and they were harmed, and it just messes up their heads, and that's wrong in itself, and any abuse of a little one is just terrible.
Yeah.
So you have that. Should she get away with what she did to tell us, but we want to know what the heck else is going on? On the other hand, do we trust her? So I keep going back and forth. Yeah, how trustworthy is someone who's actually done this kind of crap?
Right, exactly. I mean, and you can't convince me she's not still connected with some of these people. And if she's still connected, she could be either threatened or given some kind of monetary compensation for omitting them from the from her testimony. I mean,
I've testified, she gets out and she's no longer.
Yeah, and she could get suicided just as easily as Jeffrey did. So. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Yeah. You know, and you know, everybody's bringing out these pictures and these videos of him and Trump together. To be fair, prior to 2005, that was a really good, well-kept secret in all these circles. I would imagine that these creepy things that Epstein did and the people that were around him were doing. You know, and you know, you got to think about this. And I've heard somebody else say this, so I can't take credit for this, but it was a really, really good point. 30 years ago, if Bill Cosby somehow knew about me and called me and said, "Come on out. We're having a big lunch at my house. I want you to come out to California and have lunch with us," and I'd be like, "Well, heck yeah, this is America's dad. I would go out there in a heartbeat. Of course." Yeah. You don't know prior to the allegations that they're involved in creepy stuff. So, I mean, so there's a lot of people that are involved with Epstein that had no idea prior to 2005. Now, after 2005, when all that stuff, when the allegations were being made publicly, yeah, if you're still involved with them after that, Bill Gates. But I mean,
Gates. Oh, anyway.
If you're still involved with them at that point, okay, all right, all bets are off. You know what you're getting involved with. But I mean, if prior to 2005, he was just a rich guy that had connections. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not settling anything here. We just keep going. Yeah, but
you know, if you're looking to us to settle things, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Anyway,
so that is we haven't gone anywhere from when we were talking off the air. Was like, what? Well, let's stop talking. We'll bring it up on the on the live show. And guess what? It's not any different than it was then.
Capital letters. It's a big maybe. Absolutely.
Giant sort of.
Well, the Kiss Cam video, everybody has seen this by now. Goodness,
I love the memes that are coming out with it. They're hilarious.
If you follow me on social media, I have posted, the other day I posted a bunch of them. There was one where Michelle, all muscular, was holding on to Barack.
Been at the gym, y'all.
Yeah. It was good. But, you know, and you know, they interviewed the girl who posted the video. Interestingly enough, she was not monetized when she posted it. And I don't think she even realized who this was when she had posted it. She just knew that obviously there was something nefarious because as soon as they panned over to him, it's like he dropped down to his knees and was gone. And she was like turned around and turned beet red. If they had just kind of played it off, you know, we were talking about that off the air about that. It's like,
what's the old adage? If you can't talk to your friends about it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. Hey, that's very, very good. Anyway, she received $0 out of those millions of views that video got. You know, sort of like our videos. They get millions of views. And
Well, you know, we are now in 44 countries.
that's right.
Uzbekistan is our latest
That's right.
iteration.
And all of our Uzbeki friends, yes, thank you very much for. I don't know if that's right or not. I just made that up. So anyway, with the kiss cam though, you know, I gotta admit, you know, it's just been fun to make fun of these people, and it truly is sad for the spouses. And I don't know if she's married or not. I honestly don't know. But he was married and had kids, and I feel terrible for them kind of going through all this, kind of being their dad and husband are being the butt of the joke. And of course, you know, everybody's going to make money off of this except for him. So, you know, but you know, it seemed
Well,
like
he's no longer employed, so there's that.
it seemed like he just had this arrogance about him prior to when the camera first panned over to him. You could almost see the arrogance in his, you know, I'm getting away with this and I'm having a good time. I'm having my cake and eating it too. And, you know, it's like all of a sudden it's wrong, but it's hard not to laugh when people get their comeuppance. You know,
Yeah,
that's
well,
just the way-
he thought, well, we're hiding out way up here in the nosebleed seats, and nobody will ever see us up here other than a camera that has a telephoto lens, and
Now-
you're on the kiss cam.
And who would have thought a kiss cam at a concert? I've never seen that, but I mean, I don't go to a lot of concerts, so maybe it's a thing. But I know that happens at baseball games. Seems like if you're going to be at I think it was Philadelphia Phillies. Did you see where the two mascots were they did that?
I did see that one.
They ran the kiss cam over to them, and of course the mascot, they played it off like they were the couple. It was really good.
Who was the other one?
It was both of them. They're Philadelphia Phillies. They had
They have a girl now too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, okay.
It might have just been for that weekend.
I think they've had her for a while now that you mentioned it. She got a like bow on her head or whatever, you can tell. But
Yeah.
yeah.
One of my favorites is Fred Flintstone and Betty Rubble. You know,
I went, not Betty, not Fred and Betty.
but I mean, you hope that this whole situation eventually will make them better people as time goes on. That's kind of what you would hope for. I mean,
Well, yeah, it's not something they'll ever forget. The news media ran with it.
it changed my life. Yeah, I bet it did. Anyway, moving on. NPR and PBS has been defunded. What do you think about that? Taxpayer watch.
Well, I think, you were talking about comeuppance. Yeah, the arrogant blonde lady Wall or something. What is her last name?
I cannot remember her name.
WAHL?
Something like that.
Where or something. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She was so arrogant. That's when our favorite representative, Brandon Gill from Texas, that's where he kind of got his star shining, and people went, ooh, we like how he's asking these questions. So it says here that you did, so did you say that? No, I never said anything. You're like, well, right here, it says you did. And it was like, she just couldn't get out of her own way. She just kept, and digging a hole that just kept getting deeper and deeper.
And his Columbo type delivery, it's just absolutely Brandon
We
Gill.
love it.
Gotta love it. Her name is Catherine Marr.
Yeah, just one more thing. It'll help me out if you just one more.
That's awesome. Now, did that go all the way through that defunding, or is that still got to get a rubber stamp?
Yeah, no, it's done. That was in the big beautiful bill. $1 million something or $1 billion something.
Billion,
Bye-bye.
And supposedly that's only 10% of their budget. But I mean, okay, so they're going to have to run the telethon an extra day or something. I don't know.
An extra day or an extra week. I don't know.
We're not the kid that doesn't have any legs anymore. We'll get him on camera. We'll see if we can raise some more money. Yeah.
Oh, they do some of the just really. You're going to use that to get begging for dollars. Yes, now it's our favorite game show, begging for dollars. How much will you give us now if we don't go on forever?
Oh my gosh, it's just and that's always just turned me off. Even when Jerry Lewis did the muscular dystrophy thing, it's like it's just never been it's never. I like the entertainment. We used to watch it as a kid every year. When my parents used to watch it, at least parts of it anyway. But it's like begging for money is just always kind of like it's just I don't know. It's just always irritated me for some reason.
Well, I mean, they did, and this is what's going to kill some of these that actually need the money or the funds for things. They raised $100 million in California for those fires that were, let's just say they were suspect at best, and nobody knows where the money is.
Yeah.
So there's that's going to be causing problems for any more telethons or, hey, we're going to help out, or Farm Aid or whatever. Where'd all the money go? Nobody knows.
There was a story, and I didn't get too deep into it because we already had plenty of crap for this show this week. I mean crap in the best possible way.
Way to promote it. Thanks, Chief. We got lots of crap for you this week.
But supposedly there was some kind of land grab that went on that everybody's been talking about, conspiracy theorized, that after the fires in Southern California, that what's his name? Oh, Greasy Gavin has had his hands in that bucket, and so anyway, I think that there may be more to come on that, and I didn't have enough information really to move forward with that this week.
Yeah, that and they are no longer getting federal funds for their zip line on rails that goes from Los Angeles to San Francisco. They have yet to lay one single track. Yeah. Not a track has been laid, and it's been going on for 12 years now, and it's $128 billion in the hole. Cost overruns.
How many billions?
And nobody knows where that money's going either.
See, that's the thing. And federally,
California.
Federally, it's no better. Remember, we were talking. It was a couple months ago now about the charging stations that they funneled about $5 billion or more than that, and there's been like 7 built. It's like 8.
They have 8.
Oh well, boy, we're making.
And I don't know if they're all still working or if they're just connected to the diesel generator that has to be refueled. That is the most hilarious thing. You see all these Tesla things, and then there's a diesel generator running over here. It's like, what?
It very well could be just hooked up to the coal burning plant. It's about 3 miles away anyway. You just don't know.
Yes. Well, that was one of my favorite interviews with some politician was touting, and look at all of these wonderful things where you can just pull up and get, and one guy, obviously conservative, went, where's the power come from? Mm-hmm. Well, it comes from the line that comes into here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and where's the power come from? Oh, that's right, a coal-generated power facility. Yeah. And her face went, well, yeah. I mean, she went from being so enthusiastic about all,
that was the EPA
clean energy in my eye.
Biden, I can't remember her name, but the EPA, the blonde lady, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. But why are they so against nuclear power? I mean, it seems like as far as clean energy goes, I mean, that's the cleanest energy we've got right now. But they're poo-pooing that in Europe and here. I don't understand.
And you don't have to make them as big as they used to be. They've got newer technology, and there's not a lot of leftover things that have to be gotten rid of.
The water and everything, yeah.
Well, the spent rods that are.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. You will glow in the dark if you're around those for very long. But it's something that they've changed. I don't know, but. Anywho,
well, they've got some neat wildlife there in Ukraine where where the other tower kind of like melted down. Anyway, we'll leave that alone. Chernobyl, that's the name. You picked up on. I couldn't remember what the name of it. Anyway, we do have one more story before we go to break, and we are getting close to that already. So we'll just start this and we'll finish it later. Because that's how we roll. The Democratic socialist, in reality, that communist in New York City that's running for mayor, Zohran Mamdani. Zoolander. That's exactly right. And a little bit of background with him. His parents were born in India. I think his mom was born in Bombay, and I forgot where his dad was from. Anyway, they were born in India. He was born in Uganda. From Uganda, they moved to South Africa. From South Africa, they moved here, and I think he was 7 years old when he got here. So now get this. His grades weren't all that great. So when he applied at Columbia, he didn't get in anyway. When he applied at Columbia, he checked the box that he was African American. Because as we found out with the whole thing with Harvard and North Carolina, they gave you extra points if you checked the box that said you were African American, or if you were Hispanic, if you were white, or especially if you were Indian. If you were Indian, you got points taken away.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But I just run a call center. There's no problem there. I don't know what the issue is. Yeah.
it could have been a 7-Eleven. It didn't seem to matter. I mean, anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting how all that went. But we are up against.
It's not a socialist. We're a democratic socialist. I'm sorry. You're a socialist. It's like a commie. I don't care what you say. Everything goes to. That's kind of the same stuff they said down in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be democratic. So I don't care what kind of socialist you are. It doesn't work. You run out of other people's money, which is what they've been doing in California. So we'll talk more on that when we come back.
It's not even socialist light. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, it's not even socialist light.
We've got more to come on Mamdani. Mamdani. Gosh, why do I keep getting that wrong? We're going to have to just call him Zoolander.
That's easier.
More on Zoolander here in just a minute. So here's our break. So we will be right back after this.
The Stay Off My Lawn podcast is recorded before a live studio audience.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Souvenir Snow Globe Maker.
Mr. Souvenir Snow Globe Maker.
Scoffing at Mother Nature, you bring snowy wonderment to miniature Mauis, tiny Tampas, and itty-bitty Bahamas.
It's a small, small world.
Sure, Rome wasn't built in a day, but mini snow globe Rome was.
A Viva Italy.
Today's forecast for mini Rio de Janeiro: massive flooding, followed by snow.
Can't stop it now.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, champion of the Tchotchke, because you make everyone's world a little smaller and a whole lot snowier.
Mr. Souvenir Snow Globe Maker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
We just don't have enough snow globes at all. I think that I need to buy more. We need to have one with our logo in the snow globe. I wonder how much that would cost. I need to look on
with the
Etsy.
sign in the lawn, yeah.
Yeah, maybe with Rome in the background. I mean, that could work pretty well. Anyway, this Mamdani guy has appeared on. Oh, I got it right that time.
You practiced during the break.
I should have. I got it right. I got lucky. He's appeared on a lot of podcasts and talk shows the last few years. So I've got a montage of his spewings, and here we go.
Does that just make you uncomfortable? Like the phrase globalized intifada, from the river to the sea? Does that make you uncomfortable?
I know people for whom those things mean very different things. And to me, ultimately, what I hear in so many is a desperate desire for equality and equal rights in standing up for Palestinian human rights.
I am in favor of defunding the police. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
And then it comes to making buses free and universal child care, increasing the top corporate tax rate of New York to match that of New Jersey. That raises $5 billion, and increasing income taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year by 2%. City-run grocery stores, I've proposed a pilot program of one store in each borough. These are 5 stores in total. The total cost of this is $60 million.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
You're a proud democratic socialist. Do you think that is a platform that would work for other candidates running in other parts of the country?
Absolutely.
So violence is an artificial construction. Right. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence.
Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires because, frankly, it is so much money.
We have to continue to elect more socialists, and we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. But then there are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right? Or whether it is the end goal of ceasing the means of production.
Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the intifada?
That's not language that I use. If we want to end the housing crisis, the solution has to be moving toward the full decommodification of housing. We have a budget of close to $6 billion for the New York City Police Department. And that is an astronomical figure. I think in this first year, we need to take $1 billion out of that budget. And I think that we need to reinvest that money into social services.
Would life be better if we just abolished private property and transformed our society into a more collective, egalitarian one?
I think it probably would be better.
Are prisons obsolete?
What purpose do they serve?
Prisons are obsolete. Billionaires shouldn't exist. It's just a lot of money, man.
Well, they've already been kind of doing that in New York where prisons were obsolete. They were talking the other day about the horrible, heinous things they've done, and saw a judge and were back out on the street something like 15 times in 3 years.
No,
it's like, what?
Revolving door. Heck, we used to watch Blue Bloods. I remember Tom Selleck complaining about that on the show. Saying that, as soon as they get arrested, they get turned right around and released. It's the way it works.
Well, I don't know that's the way it works. That's the way that they're doing it. And I think it's funny that, no one should have that kind of money. And now you can only tax people so much. And those that have a lot of money and the funds and the wherewithal are leaving the states that are taxing them to death. Look at California. They're going to lose something like, what is it?
3 seats, I think.
3 seats, is that what it is? Yeah, we're going to be gaining one. I know at least one. But the issue is the heiress to, or the whatever she is for In-N-Out, which we've had two of those. We've had two of those show up in Idaho of recent, and you can't even get in the parking lot to get close to them. I could care less. It's a burger joint. Somebody said we waited a half an hour to finally get a burger there, and went, me.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 3 locals because we're out here in the hinterlands, little tiny towns. One town has 2 of it, Apple Lucy's and the burger joint, I think is all it's called. And then in Homedale, there is, it's technically called the Frosty Palace, okay? The gentleman who used to deliver laundry there, and I would run his route for vacations on occasion, he was really good about being to work all the time, called it the Frosty Palace. He upgraded the name of it. So that's what we call it when we go there, and their stuff is very good. When I've delivered, you go in through the back doors. Myself and a friend who was a coffee guy with Farmer Brothers, we would compare, we've delivered there, how's that one? I wouldn't go eat to that one. It's like, that place, man, it's spick and span, shines, it's an old place, and they take good care of stuff. But, getting off the track, talking burgers, I must be hungry. Anyhow, they're losing businesses, and that's what's happening in New York. Also, they're leaving New York City especially, and you are going to run out of other people's money pretty darn quick.
Absolutely. And when you can move, and In-N-Out's moving to Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, but you've got places like Tennessee and Texas and Florida that don't have any income tax, state income tax. So why wouldn't you? Why, your business will thrive better. The cost of living is lower. Why wouldn't you?
Well, and I saw the interview with her yesterday, and it was like, we love the weather is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful states in the country, but it's not a place to raise kids anymore. No. You try to go through the cities, and you fear for your life just to drive through the city. If you get stopped at a stoplight, you worry the whole time you're sitting there. That's just not a place you want to go. That's not where you want to raise your kids.
See, I think that's where the Second Amendment is so important, because you do have places that are like where I live and where you live. Nobody comes up and tries to carjack us here in Northwest Georgia where I live because almost everybody's got a gun in their car. I mean, it's like, is it worth putting a hole in the middle of your chest to steal somebody's Honda Accord? No, that's normally
they're going to shoot back, kind of like who was it, a CPB or CBP? I forget what the initials are in New York. Yesterday, day before, 2 illegal aliens, and they call them immigrants. No, they're illegal aliens. I'm sorry, call them what they are. Had a handgun and was going to rob this guy. Well, he was an immigration officer, so he was packing, and they tried to rob him, and they shot and just grazed the side of his head, and one guy was filled full of lead, and his buddy managed to grab him and put him on their little scooter, the little moped that they had. And you see him, because they have cameras everywhere now, at a local hospital, and the guy pulls up with a moped, just dumps his buddy off onto the pavement and books it out the other side. I'm out of here. Hopefully they'll come out and get you. Well, they caught the other guy too. Due to facial recognition, and they have also been in and out of New York jails so damn burned many times. It was not hard to figure out who they are. So, yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I would want to do is drive through Los Angeles, especially if something did like that did happen and you did have a concealed carry permit or whatever, and you shot somebody that was threatening your life. Chances are you're going to jail, and you're going to have to spend $25,000-$50,000 of your own money to defend yourself when that's all you were doing in the first place.
Don't have to do that here. It's just like Florida. It's a stand your ground state.
Yep,
so.
here too. Castle laws or whatever you want to call it, but
and you can open carry here. You don't have to have a concealed carry permit. You want to pack, you pack.
And as a matter of fact, here we just I think Florida's the same way, that they got rid of the concealed carry, so everybody can conceal carry. So as long as you've got your gun legally, then whatever. So that all works.
Look like Marshall Dillon, strap that sucker to the side, and
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I just think that it's almost like you're showing off that you got a gun or something. I don't know. You don't see it very often, but when you do, it's sort of like I roll my eyes. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean what I'm saying is that is legal if you want to do that. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you don't get a lot of that kind of stuff. Doesn't go over very much.
I carry my 12 gauge over my shoulder when I go to Big Lots a lot of times. But anyway,
oh well, that's way different than strapping on a revolver.
Very different. Very different. Yeah. There's 9 pellets in there. You got.
That Mamdani is just wow. Just totally worth it. You're going to put in grocery stores that are going to look like third world countries where there's nothing on the shelves because everything is going to be, anytime you do price control, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. Capitalism has freed more people and uplifted more people than anything else the world has ever seen.
And he's only going to put 1 in each borough. So I mean that's going to end up costing $60 billion. Is that what he said?
60 million.
Yeah,
which means probably closer to 60 billion.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
the way New York City budgets go. But I mean, the 60 billion was the police budget. I think he said.
Yes, that's what it was. Correct.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy's got terrible ideas. He's not really. Embraced American values. He's been here a long time.
Well, it's one of these little third world country ideas where you really can't leave and we can keep you from leaving. In America, nope, you don't need a passport to go 3,000 miles across the way to go somewhere else. Doesn't make any difference.
Nope, not at all. We talked last week about June being the first month in over 20 years to show a surplus. Of course, that was $27 billion in surplus because of the tariffs put in place. Recently, CNBC had to admit that those tariffs are not having the damage that they had once predicted to the economy.
We are collecting a lot of revenue. So far, guys, $121 billion has flowed into the U.S. government since the start of the fiscal year. It's still a tiny portion of the overall revenues that the U.S. government gets, but it's increasingly a lot. Especially, we haven't seen it in terms of the consumer paying off higher inflation.
You would think that her being
I'm sorry, that was hilarious. It's increasingly Well, a lot. No, really?
That's what I was going to say. It's like you're educated, lady. We do better than that. We're uneducated boobs. So I mean,
Oh, that was hilarious. Oh, yeah, that's as good as watching some Canadian football this weekend. And the sideline reporter, somebody had a problem with their foot, and that's why they were out. They had a problem with, as he was going on, plantar, he got that part right, he had a foot injury.
I'm uneducated. Let me answer. Fasciitis. I got it.
He couldn't say the word, and then he just gave up after 2 tries. He kept trying to push it out and just, screw it, a foot injury. Close enough.
And I'm
Oh, my
fluent,
God.
and I got that word down. So, I mean,
I was laughing so hard. And this lady's the same thing. Well, it's a lot. No,
it's
really?
increasingly a lot. So yes,
Increasingly a lot.
I'm going to try to use that every day. It's really good. Oh my gosh!
Oh crap! Yeah, it just reminded me of the football guy. That was hilarious. Wow.
Plantar.
Planner. He would go right to the planner again with real confidence and go. He had a foot injury.
It's not
gave up.
that hard of a word. Come on.
It's one of those that, certain words you just go, the eye teeth get in the way and you can't see what you're saying.
We'll have to have our friend Corey record fasciitis for us and send it to us to see if there's a Canadian accent or a Canadian pronunciation that we're just not privy to. I mean, it could be.
Otherwise he did a real good job. That just that word. It's like, no, you need to say that.
Yeah, but Corey, if you're listening, record that for us and send it to us so we know what the heck we're. I'm sure you're listening. You're always listening. He's a good guy. Anyway, as we've heard all by now, poor Stephen Colbert, he's out of a job.
I can't live with myself. I'm so excited that he's gone. Ding dong, the dork is gone. The wicked. Oh, anyway.
The dork. That's great. I like that. But yeah, and the poor guy, he's gonna have to cut the cable or something because get this now, his show cost $120 million a year to produce. And I forgot how many people were on staff. It was like an astronomical amount of people. His salary was between $15 and $20 million a year. So even if he took a pay cut, it wouldn't make much of a difference at all.
Take a $5 million pay cut. Now CBS is only paying $35 million a year out of their pocket to run his show because he had a $40 million a year deficit.
That's right.
But it's Trump who got him fired. No, it's all this, what do you want to call it, karma that's going around and all the crap that he's been doing. It's not funny at all. No. It's what I call New York humor, is maybe funny in New York, but not the rest of the country. And he's lost a third of his audience in a year.
And it
keeps going down.
He's from South Carolina, but he doesn't admit that anymore. But I mean, he's from South Carolina originally, but he tries to play himself off like the New York liberal that he's turned into, I guess. But they've all been saying, because Paramount had settled that lawsuit with the Trump administration over the editing of that video, that interview with Kamala, and because it's election tampering, is what it could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what it was.
They paid him off.
What were they calling it? The bribe money that they had to pay Trump.
Yeah.
The bribe money? You mean the one that the court said, yeah, you can't do that?
So they're trying to say that was part of the deal, even though he's been losing the Paramount $40 million a year on that show. That would be enough for me. The first year that happens, I'm sorry, you're gone.
Yeah.
But anyway,
guess who's next?
Hopefully,
they're talking Jimmy Kimmel is on the chopping block real quick because Disney is losing money hand over fist. They cannot make a movie there, and he's just not. He is not funny at all either. No. And next up is
Jimmy Fallon?
The little pup on the end is Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. Fallon. Well, Fallon is Fallon, so whichever way you want to put it.
That's true. Now Fallon, we were talking with a friend of ours. Bob Bergen the other day. I was talking to
yes.
him about that,
Wonderful
and he
guy.
said, "Yeah, he's a very good guy." But he said something about Fallon's okay. I was like, I mean, he's not as political as the other two, but he's just not funny. It's like he tries too hard. He's just
It's New York humor, is what it is.
No, you're right. You're right. Of course, the usual suspects in the media are crying foul over Colbert's firing, and here's that.
This is textbook authoritarian rule. This is not just a media story. It's a free speech funeral in slow motion.
It's not even like they're trying to hide the main purpose of it. This just makes it look completely connected with the 60 Minutes settlement.
I think people are right to think that there may be something going on here beyond purely financial calculations, and that politics are part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Lord. Oh, and Rosie, who left and went to Ireland, is even saying, "Oh, this is all Trump." It's all and who's Ellen DeGeneres just said it's Trump's fault that she left the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
No, he wasn't keeping you here. He wasn't doing anything against it. You had every right to stay or leave. It's up to you.
I don't think the Irish government is happy with Rosie being there anyway.
No, they won't give her citizenship. But I have dual citizenship. Don't care. No, we don't want you here.
Just because your name is O'Donnell doesn't mean you belong there. I mean, anyway. Even Brian Stelter had to be honest for the first time probably in his life. About the whole Colbert thing.
2023, when The Late Late Show with James Corden went off the air, I reported at the time that show had become unprofitable, that CBS was not able to sell enough ads to make that show profitable. Well, that is now the case for Colbert as well. I'm told by a source close to the network that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is now technically unprofitable. So that does give the company a financial reason to end the show.
Well, I mean, that's $40 million is a financial reason. But I can't believe he was being that honest.
That's a big reason. Well, that's the same. They're none of them are making money, and it's just they can't keep doing this. They've been They were funding them during the elections, and that's over. And yeah.
Well, anyway, we're up against another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Director of National Intelligence, which doesn't seem like it applies to me. Tulsi Gabbard, she dropped a 100-page document on us the other day. Look, let's just gloss this over. There's no reason to point fingers at me that I can't speak. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Where's the fun in that?
Mike Tarnow, Richard Durrington. The Stay Off My Lawn podcast continues next.
Are you a liberal, ready to scream into the void about immigration, but tired of lighting cars on fire? Well, we have several tips you can help undocumented immigrants without smashing in a window. Number 1, become a host family. Put that money where your mouth is. That no human is illegal sign in your yard just became legally binding. Number 2, donate half your paycheck to immigration lawyers. You don't need rent money anyway. Social justice, housing stability. Number 3, marry one. I promise to love, honor, and protect your path to a green card until the 3-year audit do us part. Number 4, download Duolingo and learn Spanish overnight. Because nothing says solidarity like yelling, "Donde está la biblioteca?" at a deportation hearing. And lastly, number 5, read what the law actually says about immigration. Wait, it's actually a felony to re-enter after deportation? What? That's crazy. Hope this helps.
I got all those written down. How's my Spanish? Mucho Garcia, señor. Is that close?
It's something like that. Senior Otter, something like yeah. If you're curious about a biblioteca, then that's a library. Oh my goodness. I love that.
That one was really good. Some of them I've heard before, folks, and we still laugh at them. They're hilarious. I had to make notes because I wanted to make sure I got them all right.
I mean, because if we're going to marry somebody from Guatemala, we need to have all our ducks in a row or whatever they have.
Yeah, I'm probably past that. In 2 days, it'll be 50 years for me and the missus who has suffered long and hardships.
That's a long time for Nancy. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just.
That's what I said. There, we're getting close to 50, and I hear.
Is there steam coming out of her ears?
No, there's just a look of disdain.
Sounds like a tractor trailer coming to a stop.
Her look, yeah, her look of haughty derision.
Haughty derision. I need to write that down too. That's good.
I watched too much Big Bang. Sorry.
Yeah, we're coming up on 36, but like I said, we are newlyweds compared to y'all. Anyway, the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, one of my favorite people with a big white streak in her hair. She's it's really kind of nice. She released a 100-page document. It might be a little bit more than that. Evidence showing that under the direction of Barack Obama, the then DNI chief James Clapper, then CIA director John Brennan, then FBI director James Comey, and former national security advisor Susan Rice came up with the Russian collusion hoax, which eventually gave birth to the Steele dossier, or went the other way. I don't know which came first.
Well, they stole part of it from the Brady Bunch. Russia, Russia, Russia. So
That's
anyway.
true. That's true. You'd think it was Marcia, but I think we were mishearing it back in the 70s. We had too many wild mushrooms in our
And
system.
if you don't get all our references, look the stuff up. There's this magic box that says you can find almost anything.
Yeah, YouTube. Anyway, the lots of intelligence community whistleblowers have come forward. She's got talk about ducks in a row. She's got all this stuff. But this is what she had to say on Hannity. Let me find this on Hannity the other day.
And this is such an important issue, and I just want to start by saying that this is an issue that is important to every single one of us as Americans. This is not a partisan issue. It has to do with the integrity and the strength of our democratic republic. And it lays out this over 100 documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice and others, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people, and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. You have gone into great detail over these years of what the effects of this document and this decision have resulted in. Obviously, a years-long Mueller investigation that cost taxpayers almost $40 million, 2 congressional impeachments, endless smears and attacks against not only President Trump, but his family. He had senior members of his team who were investigated, some arrested and jailed. We had heightened and increased tensions between the United States and Russia. The list goes on and on about the consequences of President Obama and his senior cabinet members politicizing intelligence once again, and I say these words very clearly, to enact what was essentially a years-long coup, subverting the will of the American people in that election in November.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, during his whole presidency, it was like this thing was looming over his head that he was, he was colluding with Russia, and it's all Russia, 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 like you said.
Oh, yeah. Well, they and some of them now have been going, oh, they're just doing this. Wait, what's that? Oh, they have receipts. They have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but the 4 people involved sounds like a recipe of some sort. Oh, Bummers, Comey, whatever, Rice recipe.
Yeah, Susan Rice. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's almost as good as broccoli, but I mean, without all the stuff it has. Broccoli
I
and rice
forgot
is
the one
good.
guy's name.
Brennan?
No, Brennan's in there too. I forgot that.
Clapper, Brennan, not Christopher Wray, but let me see here. James Comey? Is that who you're thinking of?
Yes. Comey Clapper. There you go. It's a Comey Clapper rice.
It sounds like something you might
with a
pick up in
Brennan
Jamaica
sauce.
over the weekend. I mean, it just you gotta,
there you go. It's a Comey Clapper rice with a Brennan sauce.
And of course, Hillary and her campaign are complicit at the very least with all this stuff.
Boy, and you haven't heard word one from her.
Yeah,
nothing.
If you've well, let me go back here. There's the receipts on this is from a document called the President's Daily Brief. This is something, it's actually a podcast called the President's Daily Brief. I listened to that from the very beginning when that started about 3 years ago, and they've changed hosts now. But I didn't understand, didn't ever hear of that prior to that, but it's every day that the president's in office, there's a meeting in the Oval Office in the morning talking about the different intelligence thing headed by the CIA, talking about what's going on spy-wise in the world, and they kind of understand. So it's like on December 7th of 2016, it was brought to the attention of Barack Obama, who was in the White House still because he was still president until January 20th. But they told him, it's like, there's no evidence of anything that he's been colluding with Russia. Now, 2 days later, on the 9th, it all changed. And here's Tulsi's going to talk about that here again, too.
This President's Daily Brief document that was drafted for President Obama in early December that reaffirmed what the intelligence community professionals, as you say, had been assessing for the previous 6 months leading up to the election, which was that Russia neither had the intent nor capability to essentially hack the outcome of the U.S. election. President Obama's political appointees pulled that document before it could be published, and it has not been published until we released it today. And the very next day after they pulled that document, President Obama called the National Security Council cabinet meeting to discuss how Russia interfered with the election. Again, this is the December 9th meeting. We declassified and released what they call the summary of conclusions from that meeting. Then DNI James Clapper took the lead on what President Obama wanted done, and which was essentially create a document that tells us not if, but how Russia interfered with the election. President Obama delivered the conclusion that he wanted the intelligence community to reach, and directed them to find and essentially create and manufacture the intelligence to support the conclusion that President Obama wanted to deliver to the American people. Once that document was drafted, the deep state kicked into gear and did what they usually do. They started leaking this classified information out to their friends at the Washington Post and others who are working hand in glove with the deep state to lay the groundwork for the assessment that they eventually released that served as the basis, once again, for this years-long coup with the goal of trying to subvert the American people's will and usurp President Trump from being able to deliver on the mandate that the American people gave to him when they chose to elect him as president of the United States.
And speaking of hand in glove, you know Hillary was involved in all this because she ended up going to during that time period between the election and the inauguration. She went on The View and said this.
And whether or not there's fire, we need to figure it out. But here is what's important. Put the investigation into Trump, his associates, and everybody else to one side. There is no denying that the Russians interfered in the election. Right. Whether or not they had willing or unwitting help from the Trump team. They interfered, and they did so to help him and hurt me, and they did so to destabilize our democracy, and they have not stopped. I mean, there's been enough public testimony before Congress now by very distinguished, experienced intelligence professionals who all say the same thing. This is a clear and present danger to our country. Yeah. And I think it's important, and I would say this. If the roles were reversed, if I had won the Electoral College and I were in the White House and the intelligence services, I've served with them, I've worked with them, I've read their analysis. Both on the Senate Armed Services Committee and as Secretary of State. You know, they don't always get it right, but these are patriotic, hardworking, dedicated men and women. And if they had come to me and told me, you know, we believe that this election was interfered with, we believe that it was influenced, and we believe they are still trying to get into our systems, I would have stopped at nothing. I would have stood up and in front of the country said, even if it advantaged me, I am not going to rest until we know exactly what happened.
She said everything but experts. Well, these are people who I know, they're experts in their everything but the word experts. But again, it's who are you referring to? Oh, they're just experts.
When she's trying to make herself sound altruistic, also, that's a big red flag right there. Because if you're thinking about anybody being altruistic, it's not her, for goodness sake.
Yeah. I want to be the good person in this and make sure that you're all dead. No.
Have you seen that list lately that they've added on?
13, is it? Of her, those that were guards are no longer with us.
Yeah, or just close.
I'm glad I don't know her personally because
we could have been suicided a long time ago. You just don't know. And some of these people committed suicide putting a shotgun to the back of their head after they hung themselves. I mean, you know,
they were talented.
Those kind of things happen, sure. I've actually got more, but we are running out of time on today's show already. Holy cow!
We gotta, we're coming up here. What do we got on? Well, the Uncle Joe cover-up, it's pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
How many times you got to hear on the advice of my lawyer?
We'll play a little bit of that. Biden's presidential physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, pleaded the Fifth Amendment at his deposition last week and refused to answer any questions, including, you know, the question was, were you ever told to lie about the president's health? And did you ever believe that President Biden was unfit to execute his duties? And of course, we're going to plead the fifth. But this other lady, Annie Tomasini, may not be familiar. I'd never heard of her before, but
I don't know either.
Yeah, but she was Uncle Joe's deputy chief of staff, who apparently didn't get one of the auto pen pardons that everybody.
Well, she was doing all the others. Did she forget to put her name down?
Apparently so. But
although they're all defunct, the only one pardon that was signed physically was for Hunter.
Oh, and we'll hear from Hunter here in a second. But anyway, this is how the interview with Annie went in front of Congress. I think Friday.
Ms. Tomasini, did you ever advise President Biden on the handling of classified documents found in his garage?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Ms. Tomasini, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Ms. Tomasini, did President Joe Biden or anyone else in the White House instruct you to conceal or destroy classified material found at President Biden's home or office?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline.
And it goes on like that a little bit. She answers the same thing. And finally, towards the end, he asks again. Let me see if I can find it.
Declined to answer all questions put to you today by the committee on the basis of the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
On behalf of Ms. Tomasini, I can so confirm.
Yeah, she's not going to answer any questions. It just sounds guilty, right? We talked about this off the air.
Yeah, tell me you're guilty without telling me you're guilty. So are you answering it with the fifth so that you don't incriminate yourself on this? So I'm going to tell you I'm not going to incriminate myself by incriminating myself that I'm trying not to incriminate myself.
I mean, what would be the? I mean, what kind of charges could they levy against her if she just said, "Yeah, we covered it up"? I mean,
Well, everybody that they brought in did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
The doctor, her, the gentleman who was called Biden's wife, her work husband.
Her chief of staff or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all crooked as a dog's hind leg. So
I mean, what would be self-incriminating by saying that we lied? I mean, is there a law against lying? I mean, yeah, we lied.
I don't understand. It's the truth.
Because what's her name? Corinne Jean-Pierre wrote that book that nobody's read, but she wrote that book saying that, yeah, we all lied. It's out there.
Well, I thought they were bringing her in too. Maybe it's not her time yet. This whole week has been here we are on Tuesday, and it seems like it's been a month already, but everybody has said the same thing.
There's so much stuff. Oh my gosh. I can't keep up with all this. But anyway, have you seen the Hunter Biden interview from the other day?
Well, it sounded like somebody with a beep button. Beep, 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 beep.
He
sounded
said
like Morse code. There was so much of it in there, it probably comes out to something. I don't know.
We said this in the promo that I've got a 34-second clip of that interview, and out of 34 seconds, I think I had to beep him out 5 times. So it's like, okay, tell me, anyway, he actually was asked about poor old Joe's his performance during the debate with President Trump and how badly that went. And of course, he said he was taking Ambien. Why would you take Ambien that time of day? What was it, 8 o'clock at night? I mean, why would you be on Ambien already? Normally, they kind of like shoot him with adrenaline or whatever, like he did with that speech he had with all the red in the background and the Marines.
Where it looked like he was a Nazi.
He was just
He
was mad and loud and half decently
get real close to the microphone.
This is what I've been telling you about right here. But anyway, he was if he was truly on Ambien, if he really gave him Ambien, I don't believe they could have gotten him up with a truckload of chocolate chip ice cream. I mean, I just don't think that would be a thing. But Hunter had some criticism of the Trump administration, and this is that 34-second clip, and his policies, and here's how that went.
Like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. You. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden? Who do you think is here by the fucking sheer fucking just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance? And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals?
I apologize. I missed one. So it should have been 6 that I
should have been 6. It's like, holy crap. He can't say 5 words without saying it. It's like he has no
smartest
expression.
guy Joe knows.
And also, tell me you're a racist without telling me you're a racist. Who's going to change your sheets? Who's going to serve you food?
I mean, if you live in a hotel, I guess. But I mean, I wash my own dishes. I do my own yard work. I don't know who he's talking about. You elitist sack of crap. I mean, I just can't. I can't. Yeah. Anyway.
Old. And I like the along those lines. The gal online was going. And who's gonna pick your food for $5 an hour? Who's underpaying them $5 an hour?
And to be fair, the prostitute girls that he hired for those videos on his laptop, they were all illegal aliens. So, I mean,
they were all foreigners.
So basically, he could have said, "So who's going to get naked with you and do crack?" I mean,
in that interview, he said, "Oh, there was nothing on that laptop. There was." Yeah, there was a lot of it.
I think he's burned out too many brain cells. I don't think he things. Yeah. Goodness gracious, we do need a palate cleanser now, though, don't we? This one is a rest of the story, and it's about a younger brother who was hardly given a chance as a kid. Didn't think he was going to make anything of himself. But here's Paul Harvey and
the rest of the story. It seemed clear from the moment William Fenton entered McClymonds High School that he was to be known and judged from then on as Charlie's kid brother. Charlie didn't even attend McClymonds. Charlie went to another more prestigious high school. But Charlie, 2 years older than Bill, was such a fine athlete, such an outstanding basketball player, that his reputation echoed throughout the school system and reverberated uncomfortably in young Bill's ears. So kid brother Bill, who was inclined otherwise from the very beginning, was forced into becoming involved in high school sports. First, football. I want to be a defensive end, he told Coach Mangini. The coach said okay, lined Bill up in a scrimmage. Ran 10 plays in a row, right past him. All right, thought Bill, maybe he could be a cheerleader for the team, so he tried out for the cheerleading squad. Failed at that. That left Bill with one humiliating alternative. If he were ever to be a member of the McClymonds High football team, he would become the team mascot, and he did. But as life at McClymonds dragged on, those who thought of Bill mainly as Charlie's kid brother continued to taunt him. Charlie had been such a great basketball player. Why didn't Bill try out for McClymonds' varsity basketball team? So he did. Rejected. Rejected, and worse still, just after the announcement was made, as the dejected football team mascot was leaving the gym, varsity coach Fitzpatrick exclaimed to his basketball squad, quote, "Why is it that if there are two brothers in school, we always get the bum?" Bill's homeroom teacher. Listen to this now. Bill's homeroom teacher back in junior high had always been understanding and supportive. The man's name was George Powells, P-O-W-L-E-S, and when Mr. Powells was transferred to McClymonds High, he became the junior varsity basketball coach. He knew what Bill was going through, the comparison crisis with his brother. So he pleaded with the teenager to try out for the JVs, and Bill reluctantly did try out. There were only 15 places, 15 uniforms on the team. Bill was not selected among those 15. He was just not good enough. But Mr. Powells, for some reason, took him on anyway and had him share that 15th uniform with a boy named Roland Campbell. And today Bill realizes that because this one man, George Powells, had faith in him, at least refused to give up on him, an otherwise inevitable detour into self-deprecation and delinquency was avoided. Bill was terrible on the basketball court for a while, but he got better. He got a lot better. So now when you review the life and accomplishments of an Oakland, California teenager who served as mascot for his high school football team, a young man who went on to help the Boston Celtics win 11 NBA titles, you will remember what lay in between: a sympathetic high school coach and a team uniform that had to be shared by a player who missed the cut, Charlie's kid brother, William Fenton Russell. The great Bill Russell? The great Bill Russell. And now you know the rest of the story.
And if you're too young to remember Bill Russell, you need to look him up on YouTube. The guy was incredible. Incredible.
Yep,
especially for his time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was way ahead of the others at that time. Fun to watch.
Yep. Well, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Or if it's difficult with that, you know what? Just go to our good old website at stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
And we'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, and thanks so much for listening, people. We appreciate you.